Aloha and welcome to Knitted Paradise, where the needles are clicking and the yarn is squishy. My name is Lucia. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Pearl of the Pacific. Well, welcome to episode, 56. Today's January 6th, and welcome. It's evening. It's a Tuesday, which isn't my normal recording day, but later on you'll figure out why I'm a little late. This is the time I had to record, so that's when it's happening. All right, well, welcome everybody. Welcome to new viewers. Thanks for checking me out, and welcome to returning viewers. Thanks for coming back. Let's see. Blow the conch shell. We have a prize drawing to do. Wow, I feel slightly unprepared for that. Usually I do these ahead of time. But we are drawing for the winner of the accessories knit along. And wow, there was a lot of entries. That's the most entries we've ever had, which is really exciting. So let me pull that up right now. Oh, there it is. Need to look in the right place. There were 60 entries. So I'm going to put in 60. Come on, let's go. 36. So, wow, we're on multiple pages now. I have to figure this out. Let's see. I think it's page 2, because each page is 35 or 25. 36 is Arsisland, Rsisland, and she knit an adorable hooded reindeer cowl for her friend's dog, and it's adorable. Oh, sorry, it's RS Island. I get it now. I can't read Rav names. I'm terrible. Anyway, RS Island, get in touch with me with your mailing address, your snail mail mailing address, and I will send you the skein of SilverSpun that I have that has been kept tucked away from the cat. But you guys should go check out that hooded cowl. It's absolutely adorable. There's the picture of the dog wearing it, and it's so cute. So thank you all for entering, and I know there was knitted projects. I think there might have been crochet progs, and there was definitely some some sewn. I can speak English. Sewn accessories, which was really exciting. And yes, those are acceptable. I know some people were asking in the prize thread, and so I can't really respond to them, but here I'm responding to you. Sewn things are all right. And I'm going to turn my phone on vibrate. It's my brother. What do you want? Oh. He said that I should come visit him. There's a huge knitting store that just opened up down the street from where he lives. I think that may have to happen in the near future. Yes, my brother knows me well. Anyway, speaking of my brother, he was just here visiting for, I guess it was a week and a half. He came on Christmas and left on the 4th, which was Sunday, which is why I didn't have time to record on Sunday. So that was really exciting, and I was really happy to see him. I hadn't seen him in a while, and he hadn't been here, I think, since, 2 years ago. For our wedding. So, but I will talk all about all of that later. Yes, I can compose a sentence. I'm having problems with English tonight. Don't know what that's about. Anyway, it's been a long couple days, and it's been cold. So, hand knits galore. That's all I have to say. That's how I've been keeping warm. This hat, yeah. Nice and cushy. All right. Next on Below the Conch Shell is the January knit along, which a lot of people have already entered, even though I haven't podcasted about it yet. Well, I did, I guess, last week. It's the cast on knit along. So anything that you cast on and make some sort of progress on, post a picture. As simple as that. The only thing, I guess the only rule, the rules are as follows. You have to be a member of the group, the Ravelry group, which is Knitted Paradise Podcast. Yeah, that's the name of the group. And it has to be a project that you plan on finishing in the nearish future. Just to make it fair, you can't, just like cast on 50 things just to get 50 entries, I trust you guys. I just have to put that out there. Long-term projects like sock yarn blankets or scrappy whatever projects, those do count. Or if you're doing blanket squares or something, those count as well. But I would count it as one project. So not like if you're doing a blanket, you can't do like each blanket square, but like just casting on the blanket, that's what counts. Because if you do each blanket square, you can probably whip out quite a few between now and the end of January. So the blanket or the scrappy project counts as a whole for one project. You can enter as many projects as you want and just put them in subsequent posts. And if you want to update your if you cast something on and then you finish it or you finished, half of it or whatever, feel free to post more photos in the same post. So go back, like for me, I cast on this hat Sunday and then I finished it yesterday. And so I could go back and post an updated picture of like, hey, I finished it in the same post. I wouldn't make a new one, obviously, because it's the same project, but feel free to go back and update things. There is a chatter thread as well for talking about whatever related to the knit along. All right, enough about that. Let's get into On the Island. The only thing I really worked on this week, besides the things that I finished, is my husband's sweater, which is the Grant Park Pullover by Salena Lee. And this is out of Leading Men Fiber Arts Dramaturg, which is their DK, in Darkest Hour. And let's see, you saw this last. Hold on. Trying to get it out of the bag. So, take that marker off because that's confusing. All right. So when you saw it last, I was here. So it's almost doubled in size. It is black, but there is a diamond pattern on the front, as you can see, and then the back is 3x1 ribbing. And the body is done. I have cast off for the underarm on that side, and that side. I was wondering, I was like, I'm sure I cast off for the underarm and the other side too. So it's done, and it's just on the holders for now, but that is quite a lot of progress there. And I'm doing the sleeves, which are almost done. I'm doing them 2 at a time so that they match. And yeah, they are coming along. They take a long time, especially toward the end, because they're about 100 stitches around each now. So the rows take a while. It's slow going. I can tell why people don't like sleeves. They just get boring. So, because it's just 3x1 ribs, so they're really boring. But they're almost done, and then I will join those to the body, hopefully soon, so that my husband can actually wear the sweater while it's still cold. Although, that's probably going to be a while. This is only the beginning of January. We finally got some snow, though, in the last couple days, which was really exciting. We woke up on Sunday morning. I was like, it's snowing! Which was really exciting. My brother was wondering, like, it's just cold here. Where's all your snow? And so it was really nice that it snowed on his last day here. And then yesterday it dumped a whole bunch more. So I think we might be at like 3 to 4 inches total. Maybe more. I'd probably go with 4. Of accumulation anyway. So that's pretty exciting. That's it for On the Island. I know, real exciting, huh? I have some other things. I mean, I've got tons of things on the needles, but that's what actually got worked on this week. Except for the 2 things that set sail. So, I finished what I'm calling my Eye of Partridge Hat out of GeekString Sunwell in Sonic Rainbow. Dun, 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 dun. And it is bright and cheery and really thick and warm, and I love it. What I did is, this is basically the stitch pattern that you would use for an Eye of Partridge heel. So that's where it came from. So there's slip stitches every other round. And I just thought it was simple enough that it wouldn't take away from the awesome colors, but it's enough that it adds something interesting to an otherwise, it's not really a boring hat because it's bright colors, but it adds some interest for the knitter. Is basically what happens. So that got finished this week, and I've already worn it a bunch, which is why I had it sitting over here to dry because we got snowed on. And just snow outside is dry, and then you come inside and it all melts and gets wet everywhere. So that is done. I wore it. We went downtown on Saturday, and I wore it on the train, and some guy complimented me. He's like, "Oh, I love that hat." And I was like, "Thanks." And he asked if I'd knit it, and I said I did. And he was very impressed with my talents, and he said that anyone related to me is very lucky. And so my husband and my brother were both there. So they were nodding, because my husband has one hat that I knit him. Guys tend to just wear the same hat, whereas, girls sometimes tend to accessorize and match their hat to their outfit. So it's nice to have multiple sizes and colors, whereas guys just kind of wear the same thing. So he has one hat that I knit him, but yes, he's lucky. He has lots of knitted socks, so he showed off the knit socks that he was wearing. And so that was kind of fun and random. And the other thing I finished is a Rikke hat. This is by Sara Young, and this is out of Sun Valley Fibers MCN worsted in Smoke Signals. And yeah, it's a pretty great hat. It's the same color as this sweater. This is my tea leaves cardigan. And if you remember, I ran out of yarn to do the button bands. And Jeanette was nice enough to send me another skein, which was just a little bit darker than the other ones. And so the button band on this sweater is just a little bit darker than the rest of the sweater, which is fine with me. And I did a little edging across the top to kind of tie it in there. But I had what was a little left over of the lighter color, and then a good portion of the darker skein. So I decided I wanted to make a hat that kind of went with the sweater. So I took, from the garter ridges here, and I thought, why don't I just do a Rikke hat? I've heard lots of wonderful things, and so that's what I did. So the brim I knit in smaller needles. I think it was a size 4, and with the lighter skein, whatever was left of it. So I pulled all the scraps that I had, basically. So there was a lot of ends to weave in on the inside. And then the darker skein I used, I think, on size 6 for the top. And that was that. And it's not as long as I think the pattern calls for, because that's what I had left of yarn. I just went until I had some left. or none left really. I think I had like maybe a yard extra at the end, so I did pretty well. And it's a little slouchy, but I'm good with that. I just want it to be able to cover my ears and keep me warm, so it does. So I wore it today, and I wore it inside sometimes because because it's cold, and it was just really warm and squishy and cozy, and I love it. So I haven't even washed and blocked it because I finished it last night after I got home. So yeah, all right, that's what I finished. 2 hats. 2 awesome hats. Let's see if I can put this one on top of it. You can see, I'll just do it this way. You can see this one too. This one is also just a little bit slouchy. This one has been blocked, but it's just a little bit slouchy. But I'm okay having that like poof up here if that means that I can pull it down super far to keep as much of me warm as possible. So I'm okay with that. And here, while I have this off, I did do the wrap and turns. So I knit to the end and then did a wrap and turn and then knit the other way. So it's not, the way the pattern is written basically is you knit around, purl around, knit around, purl around, and that's how you get the garter. But I did knit around, wrap and turn, knit around, wrap and turn, knit around. So I did that. I don't hate purling, but I did that because I felt like my gauge would be more consistent because my purling is looser than my knitting. And I didn't want the the inside to be tighter than the outside or whatever. Anyway, I just wanted it to be more consistent. So that's that. But it left a nice little seam up the back, which you get anyway, because this is what happens if you knit around, purl around, knit around, purl around. You're going to still get a seam there. So that's not wrap and turning. That's just knit around, purl around. But yay, I have a hat that matches my sweater. I was noticing that I kind of needed a gray hat, and so I'd been thinking about knitting a hat with this yarn because I had some left over, just enough for a hat. Excuse me. And I thought, you know what, I really need a gray hat, and that would it would match a lot of my scarves and go with a lot of things. So, because it's gray. Gray is neutral. Gray is good. Ta-da! Although, I do like the bright and colorful. So, I knit a neutral and a very bright and colorful hat. 2 ends of the spectrum. All right, enough about my hats. Can you tell I'm a little excited about these hats? Yes, especially since it's cold. Very cold. Which is okay. I live in Chicago. That's what you get. All right. From my Hale. So that's it for the knitting. Now we're going to get into fun stuff about me. Lately I've been showing off some things from our Lego Winter Village, and so I thought I would continue with that theme. And today we have the bakery. I don't think I've shown this before. I should probably make a list of what I've shown and not shown. And now oh no, the roof is on. Okay. So here is the bakery. I did not show this. All right. I made it. I just haven't shown it yet. Oh, come on, go in there. It doesn't want to go in. There we go. Okay. So this is the bakery. And ta-da! There's a light brick in here to show off the tasty, tasty baked goods. And, ooh, knocked down Mr. Baker there. There's a little wreath under here. And you can open the door. And this is where you would come in. Whoops. Come in there, and it's actually a lot easier to see from the back. That's the cash register there, so that's where you would come in to buy the baked goods that you saw in the window next door. And what I was trying to put back in were these little things that it's hard to see them from this direction. Of course, now they're falling out again. You can kind of see them under the counter there. I don't think the light brick helps on that side. No, just that side. But that's that. And in the middle here, there's a stove. Here you can see there's a paddle that you use to get stuff out of the oven there, the stone oven. Maybe I could tip these out 50 more times. Jeez, see it just go in there. So that's that. And then upstairs on this side, there is a box with nothing in it, but there's a box. Let's see, where are all the characters? Oh, there's in between here, right behind. I don't think you can see it. Let me see if I can get one out. Behind the stove here, there's a little basket of baguettes. Jeez, Lego, make this harder to get out, will ya? It's very nicely tucked in there. Anyway, here are the little Lego baguettes. Aren't they cute? So there's a little basket, just like this one. Little bin there. So you could walk in the store, and there you can kind of see them right there. So you can walk in the store and buy the goodies under the shelf, or buy a baguette, or buy something that's in the window, and it's very cute. And so, yeah. And there's also a lamp post with a little pretzel bakery sign, which I think is really cute. So, ta-da, that's the bakery. And I'm sure there are other things that come with it, because there often are, but I don't know which ones they are. They're kind of just all mixed up over there on the table. They're just kind of all laid out over there. So that is that, our Lego for the week. I think that's it for what we've built so far. We'll just have to build some more. We got my brother addicted to Lego, which was kind of awesome. So he helped us build some things. Oh, the other thing we built this week was we built part of the new detective agency set that's out. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but my husband works at the Lego store, which is pretty fantastic. So often he gets homework, basically, if he has to come home and build these sets for the displays in the store. So we get to build some fun things, and we got to build the first 3 bags, so it's the first 2 layers of the detective set, the detective agency. I forget what it's actually called. We could just call it the detective agency set. But it's really, really cool. So I can't show that to you because it's on display in the store, but we did get to build that, which was fun. So my brother helped with that, and he helped with Christmas Town. As you saw last week, he was building it when I was recording. Building whatever part of it was. I forget what building it was. Anyway, I'll show it later. All right, so more about my brother. He came in on Christmas, and we just chilled a lot. Jeremy had a bunch of time off. I had a bunch of time off randomly. Well, not randomly. I accumulated it throughout the year, and I just had like 3 days left. So I used them while my brother was here, and Jeremy had a nice chunk of time off. And we spent a lot of time at home just sleeping in and watching stuff, which was kind of nice. We don't get to do that super often. We got my brother hooked on some TV shows. My brother got us hooked on some TV shows. And so we binge watched some stuff, which was kind of fun. My brother and I went downtown on New Year's Eve, kind of in the afternoon. which was fun. We met my best friend for tea, coffee, and then just kind of walked around downtown and got a hot dog. My brother really wanted to get a Chicago hot dog, so we did that while downtown. And then we walked up Michigan Avenue, which was kind of fun. Saw some of the lights, walked into some of the stores because we couldn't feel our faces after a while. It was cold, and then we just caught the train back home and had a pretty chill New Year's Eve. Let's see. Oh, and then Saturday we went down because Bank of America, I don't know if some of you know this, if you have a Bank of America card, either their credit card or their debit card or any card that has Bank of America on it, for the first full weekend in any month, in every month, there are hundreds of museums around the country that will let you in for free. I have always known this, I just never took advantage of it. And since all three of us had a Bank of America card, like, let's go to the museum. So we went to the Art Institute of Chicago, and partially because my brother is a big fan of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and one of the things we had promised him, years ago, was that if he ever came to visit, or when he came to visit, we would kind of give him the Ferris Bueller's tour of Chicago. And that's one of the places they visit in the movie. So we went there first, and we had plans of going to other museums, but we didn't quite make it. We didn't really get up early enough, which was fine. We really enjoyed spending the entire half day, basically, at the Art Institute, which was incredible. I had no idea. I live how many miles from that thing? I had no idea. So there's my tip for you. Go visit a museum near you. You may not know how amazing it is. I just kind of took it for granted that I live near all these amazing museums. I've been to now 3 of them. So my plan is to visit more. I've been to 4. Just not recently. I've been to the planetarium a long, long time ago. And then a few years ago, I went to the Shed Aquarium, which is incredible. And then for my birthday, my husband and I went to the Museum of Science and Industry, and then we just went to the Art Institute of Chicago, which was quite incredible. So it was, I think the most amazing thing for me was just being in the presence of these famous paintings and just the fact that they're real. Like, that was the original painting, painted like Van Gogh, and where's some other ones? Gosh, now I can't even remember. Picasso, there was a bunch of Picasso. For some reason, I thought he's a lot more recent than I thought he was. Like he was in more of like the modern area rather than like the Impressionist era. For some reason, I didn't put 2 and 2 together that he was a lot more recent than I thought. So that was something I learned. And of course, there's the huge Surratt Sunday in the Park. That's the big one that's in the Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So we definitely spent some time there. And there was some other really famous painting. There was a ton of really famous paintings in there, and it was just incredible. I'm like, oh, that's the original. That's like the real deal. We're not kidding around here. American Gothic was there. They won. It's the portrait of the farmer with the pitchfork and his daughter. Oh, it's supposed to be his daughter. I thought for some reason for a while it was his wife, but in the description it said his daughter. I was like, okay. Oh, the interesting thing that I learned about that is that the models that posed for that were the artist's dentist and his sister. Which may probably be why I thought that they were husband and wife, because, usually brother and sister are fairly close in age. I mean, I'm sure he didn't draw them exactly, but he used his dentist and his dentist sister as model, which I thought was very interesting. So there you go, some random tidbits of information. And that was really the most exciting thing we did while my brother was here. And then Sunday, we woke up and it was snowing, and that was really exciting. And we went to choir. It's normal, but it was fun. It was just really nice having him around. I kind of miss having him here now, but that's all right. I can go visit him in his new knitting store, or his not his new knitting store, but the one near him. I guess that's really it. I mean, that's kind of what I've been up to. Another thing I've been into a lot lately is Dungeons and Dragons, or D&D, as a lot of people know it as, which is a really fun role-playing game. I had heard a lot about it, but hadn't gotten into it until recently. But for Christmas, this is what I got my husband, is the Player's Handbook, because we've been playing a lot recently with our friends. And I thought we needed the handbook. And I think I've read it more than he has since I gave it to him for Christmas. But that's okay. He gave me some knitting books that I've been reading. He hasn't been reading those, but that's okay. So that's been really fun. We kind of just ended our first campaign last night. We got the starter set and just kind of used some of the pre-created characters, and went through the starter set story, and it was really fun, and I really enjoyed it. And so now we're working on creating characters for a new adventure, and that our new characters are somewhat related or somehow knew our old characters. So I've been thinking a lot about my new character and kind of her background and who she is and what she does and what she looks like. And so I've been doing a lot of that, and I'll share more about her later when I actually kind of know her. A lot of the other guys all the other guys, I'm the only girl in the group, have played D&D a lot before, and so they kind of have an idea of characters and classes and races and all this stuff, and they pretty much had a pool of characters, and they're like, I want this one for the new thing, and I'm sitting there like, I have no clue what I'm doing. So I had to do a lot of reading, and I think I've finally kind of figured my character out, and there's still some pieces that I need to kind of put together and some mechanics that I'm like, I don't know how to do this in terms of a lot of things, but it's been fun. I've been enjoying that, and I think I've been rambling on quite long enough. Yeah. I will leave you with one last thing. The one thing that I'm going to cast on next is the Evil Genius glove recipe by Don Yarman out of my SilverSpun. So this is mine. I did cast on a finger on size 1s, and I knit it, and I thought it was going to be my thumb. And then I knit a little longer, and I was like, that's not going to fit my thumb, so I put on my pinky, and then I knit the whole thing, and then I realized that, like, I was pulling it on, and I was like, Lucia, you're not going to want to have gloves if you have to pull, each individual finger down. I was like, that is not going to be good. So I ripped it out, which is why it looks like this now, and I'm going to go up a needle size and probably add a stitch or two, and so that's going to be my next endeavor, that and the sweater. And working on finishing up some of my works in progress, because I realized that I can't cast on new things if I don't have a project bag to put them in. So I've been doubling up projects in bags. Like, I had my hat in here with my gloves and my dice from D&D, and I've kind of just been cramming a lot of things in the bag. But like, yeah, so here's the swatch from my sweater. I'm sticking here. I didn't have to rip this out to do the hat. I was thinking I might have to, but I didn't. Oh, my D&D figure is in here. So this was what I imagined my last character kind of looked like. He was not this big and beefy, but this is what he thought he was. Anyway, he's in here. His name is Sir Bickley, and he is he's a nobleman. He's a fighter, and he's kind of prissy. He doesn't like getting dirty. He's not very intelligent. There were definitely some times where he spoiled some things because he's not stealthy. He is like the least. He wears chainmail and he's like the least quiet person ever. And it was really fun to play him. Once I kind of got to know him, I was like, oh, okay, I get this. But he has this charisma, and so he tries to talk his way, in and out of things. And he also is quite the tank, and he does have a large axe and can deal some serious damage if he wants to. But he doesn't always go that route. Anyway, but that adventure has ended and we're starting the new one. But I still kind of like my character. All right, I'm done babbling. I'm going to go get the rest of my laundry and fold it so that I can get ready for bed. All right, see you later. Bye.